Hello everyone. Today I'm here to revise with you some test questions from chapter 1 and 2 of Strategic Financial Management for CA Final students. So we have total of 7 questions and I'll quickly take you through them, and you can see where the mistakes are and how can you prepare for these questions in case they appear in the exam. Okay, let's begin now. Question 1 is, write a summary of the following statement. Mitsubishi Corporation has abolished its traditional mid-term management plan concept of committing to fixed financial targets 3 years in the future in favor of a long-term circa 2020 growth vision. The new strategic direction consists of basic concepts in management policy together with business and marketing strategies. It seeks to recognize the company's value and upside potential as a Sogo Shosha capable of providing stable earnings throughout business cycles by managing a portfolio diversified by business model, industry, market and geography. MC remains dedicated to sustainable growth, but as evidenced by its guiding philosophy, the 3 corporate principles, its business activities are even more committed to helping solve problems in Japan and around the world. Its chief goal is to contribute to sustainable societal growth on a global scale. So first we should assess what the question is asking for. The question wants us to write a summary of the statement it has given below. So it has asked us to write a summary. Make sure that your summary is short, but not too short, and it should not be very long, shouldn't go beyond 4 to 5 lines, sentences. So let's begin what a probable answer should be. So we begin by giving a small heading that the summary of the new strategic decision is. Rather than writing the summary of the given question, we use the term new strategic decision. That makes it more real and more professional. Remember, you are giving a professional exam, so your answers should look like as if a professional is writing it or giving his opinion on. Okay, so the summary of this new strategic decision is: future polls approach eyeing 2020 with a vision to double the business by building a diversified but focused portfolio. The next point would be clear portfolio strategy. We can see it in the question that they have a clear portfolio strategy. So we select winning businesses through proactive reshaping of the portfolio. And the last one would be grow business and deliver returns while maintaining financial discipline. That you can see in second paragraph of the question, where they are clearly mentioned sustainable growth and sustainable societal growth on a global scale. So here you should put an end to the first question. Let's go to the next question. Okay, question number 2 is on calculation of value at risk. So the question is, consider an investment of rupees 10 million in L&T and an investment of rupees 5 million in Sun Pharma. Suppose that the daily volatilities of these two assets are 2% and 1% respectively, and that the coefficient of correlation between their return is 0.7. What is the 10-day 99% value at risk for the portfolio? By how much does diversification reduce the value at risk? So the question is divided into 2 parts. First is that we have to know what is the value at risk for the portfolio and how much diversification will reduce that value of risk. Okay, let's begin the answer now. The standard deviation of the daily change in investment in each asset is rupees 10 million and 5 million respectively, and the variance of the portfolio's day change is calculated here under 0.02 square into 10 square. The 0.02 square is the percentage of volatility of L&T. So make sure that you take the percentage in a whole number format. Some people, what they do mistake is, rather than taking it 0.02, they either take it 2, or sometimes in hurry they just take it 0.2 instead of 0.02. So just make sure that you take the figures correctly. Then plus 0.01 square into 5 square plus 2 into 0.7. So the 0.7 is correlation between their returns into rupees 10 into 0.01 into rupees 5. These are in millions, okay, which gives us a product of rupees 0.0565 million. Now let's go to calculate the standard deviation. So the standard deviation is a square root of the 0.0565, which gives us 0.2377 per million. Okay. From the normal distribution table, we see that the z-score for 1% is 2.33. The z-score is also called as n-score. So this means that for 1% of a normal distribution lies more than 2.33 standard deviation below the mean. So the 10-day 99% value at risk is therefore value of risk 2.33 into 0.2377 per million, that is the standard deviation. It gives us 0.5538 per million. So the 10-day 99% value at risk would be 0.5538 per million into square root of 10, because it's calculated for 10 days. So we get 17514 per million. So the total 10-day 99% value at risk therefore is 17,514 into 10, which gives us 1,715,400. So now we calculate it for L&T investment. So when the 10-day 99% value at risk for the L&T investment, L&T in particular, is 0.02. It is the daily volatility into 10 million into square root of 10 into 2.33, which gives us 1,473,621. So the 10-day 97.5% value at risk for Sun Pharma investment is 0.01 into 5 million square root of 10 into 2.33, which gives us 368,405. So diversification benefit would be the total of L&T and Sun Pharma's VAR. So 1,473,621 plus 368,405 minus 1,715,400, that is the 10-day 99% value at risk amount, which gives us rupees 126,626. That's 1,26,626. Let's go now to question number 3. Okay, now let's begin with question number 3. Question number 3 asks about write a short note on balancing finance goals vis-a-vis sustainable growth. It's for 5 marks. Let's begin our answer. So always in the answer, the first line should be our heading. In few cases, it could be in few case related questions, it could be explaining the standard before going to your answer, because it's asking about short note. You can just begin the answer by giving a small heading. So our heading should be the concept of sustainable growth can be helpful for planning healthy corporate growth. Okay, now we begin our main answer. This concept forces manager to consider the financial consequences of sales increases, and to set sales growth goals that are consistent with operating and financial policies of the firm. Often a conflict can arise if growth objectives are not consistent with the value of the organization's sustainable growth. Question concerning right distribution of resources may take a difficult shape if we take into consideration the rightness not for the current stakeholders but for the future stakeholders also. To take an illustration, let us refer to fuel industry, where resources are limited in quantity and a judicial use of resources is needed to cater the need of future customers along with the current customers. One may have noticed that Save Fuel campaign, a demarketing campaign that deviates from the usual approach of sales growth strategy and preaches for conservation of fuel for their use across generations. This is an example of stable growth strategy adopted by the oil industry as a whole under resources constraints and the long run objective of survival over years. So basically जो फ्यूल एग्जाम्पल को एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ मैं, जो फ्यूल इंडस्ट्री होती है, फ्यूल हमारे पास लिमिटेड क्वांटिटी में है. सो इन अ फ्यूचर अ टाइम माइट कम वेयर देयर इज नो फ्यूल एट ऑल इफ वी डोंट यूज इट वाइजली. सो एक ऐसी स्ट्रेटेजी है जो कि अपने प्रेजेंट कस्टमर्स के नीड्स को भी देख रही है, साथ साथ में अपने फ्यूचर को भी सिक्योर कर रही है बाय डीमार्केटिंग इटसेल्फ. डीमार्केटिंग is in a such a way that it's saving its resources ताकि वो फ्यूचर में भी अपनी सेल को कंटिन्यू कर पाए. ओके, सो द नेक्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ आंसर, incremental growth strategy, profit strategy and pause strategy are other variants of stable growth strategy. Sustainable growth is important to enterprise long-term development. Too fast or too slow growth will go against enterprise growth and development. So it should play important role in enterprise development, adopt suitable financial policy initiative to make sure that the enterprise growth speed close to sustainable growth ratio and have sustainable healthy development. So the sustainable growth rate, the concept by Robert C. Higgins of a firm, is the maximum rate of a growth in sales that can be achieved given the firm's profitability, asset utilization and desired dividend payout and debt, that is financial leverage ratios. The sustainable growth rate is a measure of how much a firm can grow without borrowing more money. After the firm has passed this rate, it must borrow funds from another sources to facilitate growth. Variables typically include the net profit margin on new and existing revenues, the asset turnover ratio, which is the ratio of sales revenue to total assets, the assets to beginning of period equity ratio, and the retention ratio, which is defined as fraction of earnings retained in the business. So SGR is equal to ROE times 1 minus dividend payout ratio. Sustainable growth models assume that the business wants to maintain a target capital structure without issuing new equity, maintain a target dividend payment ratio, and increase sales as rapidly as market conditions allow. Since the asset to beginning of period equity ratio is constant and firm's only source of new equity is retained earnings, sales and assets cannot grow any faster than the retained earnings plus additional debt that the retained earnings can support. The sustainable growth rate is consistent with the observed evidence that most corporations are reluctant to issue equity. If, however, the firm is willing to issue additional equity, there is in principle no financial constraint on its growth rate. Let's move on to next question. Okay, अब हम स्टार्ट करते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 को. क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 is, consider a position consisting of rupees 1 lakh investment in asset A and rupees 1 lakh investment in asset B. Assume that the daily volatilities of both assets are 1% and that the coefficient of correlation between their returns is 0.3. What is the 5-day 99% value at risk? Okay, 5-day and 99%. Now let's begin with the answer. So standard deviation of daily change in the investment of each asset. Standard deviation of daily change of each asset हम calculate करेंगे, वो 1% into 1 lakh, which gives us 1000. Now we calculate the variance of portfolio's daily change. Variance कैसे calculate होगा? 1000 square plus 1000 square plus 2 into 0.3 into rupees 1000 into rupees 1000, and the answer would be, the product would be rupees 26 lakhs. Now we calculate the standard deviation. Standard deviation क्या होता है? Standard deviation is square root of variance. So the square root of 26 lakhs. So the standard deviation of the 5-day change is standard deviation per day into square root of 5, which gives us 3605.55. Now we can see that from a normal distribution table that n minus 2.326 is 0.01. This means that 1% of a normal distribution lies more than 2.326 standard deviation below the mean. So the 5-day 99% value of the risk is therefore 2.326 times 3605.55, which gives us 8388, and it is your final correct answer. Okay, now let's go to question number 5. Question number 5. Assuming a daily expected return of 0.04% and a daily standard deviation of 1%, find 1% value at risk in rupee terms for rupees 150 million value of portfolios. Okay, so for the situations where the mean is not 0, the formula to calculate value at risk is value of the portfolio multiplied by Z score minus its daily mean. Okay, so it's Z score minus daily mean, the whole thing multiplied by the value of your portfolio. So the 1% value at risk, that is the Z score of 1% value, 1% is 2.326 in the standard normal distribution table, which gives us Z score of 2.326. Now we go to daily mean, which is represented as alpha. Daily mean is given as 0.04%. So make sure, be sure that when it's given 0.04%, it's actually taken as 0.0004. That is 0.04 divided by 100. Always be sure that whenever a percentage is given while calculating, you divide it by 100 and take it into your calculations. Okay. And the standard deviation for 1% is 1%, that is 0.01. So now the value at risk would be the Z score, which is 2.326, times the standard deviation, which is 0.01, minus the daily mean, which is 0.0004. The whole thing multiplied by 150 million gives us the answer 3.429 million. This is how question 5 is to be solved. Now let's move on to question number 6. Question number 6. It's Smart Limited wants to acquire Dull Limited. The balance sheet of Dull Limited as on 31st March 2015 is as under. So liability side, asset, we have a liability side, we have an asset side. So different liabilities are equity share. On the liability side we have equity share capital, retained earnings, 12% debentures, creditors and other liabilities. On the asset side we have cash, debtors, inventories, plant and equipment. So काफी basic सी balance sheet दी हुई है. Now we go on to additional information. Shareholders of Dull Limited will get 1 share in Smart Limited for every 2 shares. ठीक है? External liabilities are expected to be settled at 3 lakhs. Shares of Smart Limited would be issued at its current price of rupees 15 per share. Debenture holders will get 13% convertible debentures in purchasing company for the same amount. Debtors and inventories are expected to realize rupees 1,80,000. So Smart Limited has decided to operate the business of Dull Limited as a separate division. The division is likely to give cash flows after tax to the extent of 3 lakhs per year for 6 years. Smart Limited has planned that after 6 years, this division would be demerged and disposed of for rupees 1 lakh. And the company's cost of capital is 14%. You are required to make a report to the managing director advising him about the financial feasibility of the acquisition. और उन्होंने प्रेजेंट वैल्यू एट द रेट ऑफ ₹1 फॉर 6 years एट द रेट ऑफ 14% दी हुई है. ओके, सो हमारा क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है, हमें एक फीजिबिलिटी, फाइनेंशियल फीजिबिलिटी इस एक्विजिशन के बारे में बतानी है. मतलब जो शार्प लिमिटेड डल लिमिटेड को एक्वायर कर रहा है, क्या ये प्रॉफिटेबल हो, मतलब उसकी फीजिबिलिटी क्या है, वो कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल्स पे उसका क्या इफेक्ट होने वाला है. इसको हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे 2 स्टेप्स में. फर्स्ट वील कैलकुलेट द कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन एंड देन वी कैलकुलेट द एनपीवी. एंड अगर एनपीवी हमारी पॉजिटिव आती है तो ये हमारे ये टेक ओवर हमारे लिए प्रॉफिटेबल है एंड वी शुड गो अहेड. बट अगर ये नेगेटिव आती है देन वी शुड एडवाइज कि नो, यू शुड नॉट गो अहेड. सो हम कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन कैलकुलेट करते हैं. कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन में हम पहले क्या क्या दे रहे हैं. Firstly, equity share capital. So 1 share for every 2 shares, that is 60,000 divided by 2 into rupees 15, which is the issue price. So हमारे पास आते हैं 4.5 लाख. Then 13% convertible debentures को we are paying 2 lakhs, and cash payments for external liabilities and minus the realization from other assets. So that will be 3 lakhs minus 1,80,000 minus 20,000. 1,80,000 डेटर से जो हमें मिला और 20,000 जो कि इन्वेंट्रीज में है, विच गिव्स अस 1 लाख. सो अब टोटल कंसिडरेशन हमारे पास आता है 4.5 प्लस 2 प्लस 1 7.5. अब हम आ जाते हैं एनपीवी कैलकुलेशन में. एनपीवी हमको पहले हमको पीवी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करना होगा. प्रेजेंट वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करने के लिए हम 5 साल को कंसिडरेशन में लेंगे. उनकी आफ्टर टैक्स इनफ्लोज कैश इनफ्लो को पकड़ना होगा, दैट इज 3 lakhs पर ईयर. एंड देन पीवी फैक्टर जो हमारे क्वेश्चन में दी हुई है हम उसे मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे. सो ईयर 1 का हमने कैश फ्लो को पीवी फैक्टर जो क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है उसे मल्टीप्लाई कर लिया. सेम ईयर 2 में किया, सेम ईयर 3, ईयर 4 एंड देन फाइनली ईयर 5 में हमने वैसा किया. ईयर 6 में हमारी सैलवेज हो रही है. सो ईयर 6 के भी जो हमारी इनफ्लो है उसको हम प्रेजेंट वैल्यू से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे जो कि क्वेश्चन में दी हुई है. ईयर 6 में हमारी एक और कैश इनफ्लो हो रही है, वो है सैलवेज वैल्यू. सैलवेज वैल्यू हमारे पास इनफ्लो हो रही है 1 लाख की, एंड उसको भी हम उसी ईयर 6 की प्रेजेंट वैल्यू से मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे तो एक अमाउंट आ जाएगा. हम अब इन सारी इनफ्लोज प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ इनफ्लो फॉर ईच ईयर को एडअप करेंगे तो हमारे पास प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ टोटल कैश इनफ्लो आएगा फॉर 6 ईयर्स. 6 ईयर्स का आ गया. अब उसमें से हम लोग कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन डिडक्ट कर देंगे. पीवी आया हम लोग का 12,12,200 एंड द कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन इज 7,50,000, which gives the NPV a positive of 4,62,200. So जैसे कि मैंने क्वेश्चन के बिगिनिंग में आपको आंसर के बताया था कि अगर हमारी एनपीवी पॉजिटिव आती है तो डेफिनेटली वी शुड सजेस्ट दैट इस डील को या इस टेक ओवर को शार्प लिमिटेड को कंसिडर करना चाहिए. तो हम एक कंक्लूजन लास्ट में मेंशन करेंगे. सो द कंक्लूजन वुड बी, सिंस द एनपीवी इज पॉजिटिव, इट इज सजेस्टेड टू अक्वायर डल लिमिटेड to maximize the value of shareholders of both the companies. This gives an end to question number 6. Now let's begin question number 7, the last question for the day. Okay, question number 7. Mr. Satyamurthy wants to find the price of the equity share of Spectra Industries, which manufactures polypropylene films. He plans to invest in them. For finding the price of Spectra Industries, he wants to use that model which gives recognition to the dividends payable by the company, which he could lay hand on earnings estimate for next 5 years. He does not have estimates beyond the 5 years. He is told that the company has a policy of 50% payout every year. So EPS दिया हुआ है इन्होंने हमें last 5 years का. Now we go ahead. He is aware of the fact that the expected T-bill return is 8% and Sensex would give a return of at least 20% in forthcoming year. He is also told that Spectra is similar to Cosmo Industries in every respect and therefore analysts in the market use the same parameters of Cosmo for Spectra. He could get some information of Cosmo Industries like beta of the company, which is 1.2, and long-term growth rate, which is 5%. Help Mr. Satyamurthy find the price of Spectra Industries equity share using the appropriate models. Restrict your workings to the 3 decimals. The question is specifically saying that you have to restrict your workings to 3 decimals. So आप ना ही 2 decimals use कर सकते हैं ना ही 4 decimals. You should just use 3 decimal places to ensure that it's the answer is accurate. Okay, now let's begin with the answer. So इस यहाँ हमको सत्यमूर्ति जी की हेल्प करने के लिए डिविडेंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन मॉडल यूज करना होगा. एंड हमारे क्वेश्चन का ऑब्जेक्टिव है टू फाइंड व्हाट द प्रेजेंट आउटफ्लो इज. प्रेजेंट आउटफ्लो मतलब P0 क्या है. तो सत्यमूर्ति ही वांट्स टू रिकॉग्नाइज डिविडेंड पेएबल बाय स्पेक्ट्रा इंडस्ट्रीज फॉर वैल्यूएशन ऑफ शेयर्स. ही वुड यूज डिविडेंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन मॉडल फॉर्मुलेटेड बाय मायरन गॉर्डन. Since growth of the company comprises of 2 parts, a variable 5-year growth followed by a constant growth, he would use the 2-stage growth approach of DDM. So the first 5-year dividends can be found out by using the payout ratio of 50% on the earnings as follows. So हम हमारे पास ईयर मेंशन किए हुए हैं एंड पे आउट हमने 50% यूज किया है. सो वी गेट डिविडेंड पर शेयर अकॉर्डिंगली. जो हमारा EPS है उसका 50% विल बी डिविडेंड पर शेयर, वो हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिया. अब सिंस कॉस्मो इंडस्ट्रीज इज अ सिमिलर कंपनी लाइक स्पेक्ट्रा, लॉन्ग टर्म ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ 5% कैन बी यूज्ड एज अ लॉन्ग टर्म ग्रोथ रेट बियॉन्ड द 5 years. क्योंकि 5 years के बाद का हमारे पास डेटा नहीं है, हम कॉस्मोस इंडस्ट्रीज की जो कि सिमिलर है स्पेक्ट्रा जैसी, उसका ग्रोथ रेट यूज करेंगे. सो द G2 वुड बी 5%. Using the information of beta of Cosmo, which can be used for Spectra 2, we can find that the expected rate of return on Spectra shares using the CAPM. The already available information is risk-free rate would be 8%, and RM, which is Sensex return, that is return on market, is 20%, which can be used. Therefore, K, that is the expected rate of return, would be risk-free rate plus beta times return from the market minus the RF. So we get 8 plus 1.2 times 20 minus 8, that is 22.4%. So with all this information, we can plug them into the DDM formula, which is as follows. P0 would be equal to D1, that is dividend of first year, divided by 1 plus K, plus D2 divided by 1 plus K whole square, D3 divided by 1 plus K cube, D4 divided by 1 plus K to the power of 4, D5 divided by 1 plus K to the power of 5, D5 times 1 plus G2 divided by K minus G into 1 divided by 1 plus K to the power of 5. So the last part is to calculate the future inflows. Now we use the present value factors by present value factors of 22.4%, and we get the P0, the price of share today, as 16.74. Thank you.